Okay, good evening once again. Welcome to the LSU versus Texas A&M game broadcast here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We all live tonight. No score, bottom of the first. Central comes up.
Marceau looks back.
It's a 2-2 pitch.
Kicks and fires. And a tie it inside on the hands. That'll even the count 2-2.
Here's the pitch.
Mostly the Bills. Gainesville, Starkville.
Pitch coming up, and that is going to
Mostly
be
the Bills.
ground ball.
Those
Now
type
throw
of
it to
cities,
first,
like
and time.
you exit for the city.
So
There's
that's
a Cracker Barrel right there.
end
The
of
that guy.
bottom of the first. We go to the top of the second. No score.
That's what we're dealing with.
Well, they tried to add another city here. They made it Bryan College Station a while back, but I don't know if it helped. Off the end of the bat, slow bouncer Thompson coming in. Only played at first, and he makes it look easy. Gets it to Morgan in time for out number 3 to retire Sartori. And that'll do it for the Aggies. They get no runs on one hit. They leave a couple men on, but we're still scoreless. We got to the top of the second. Tigers coming to the plate. Back in a moment on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Okay, once again, no score. LSU and Texas A&M. So let's give you the plays. What happened with the Texas A&M bottom of the first. Okay, no runs, no hits, no errors. That's for LSU. Also, no runs, one hit, no errors, 2 men left on base. That was in the bottom of the first. So we go to the top of the second. The score is no score. LSU and Texas A&M here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We all live. So we're going to send you your links. If you want to come in video chat with us, you can do that. So I'm going to go ahead and send those links out now while we're in a commercial break. Because I'm getting ready to send them out now to everyone. Okay, we get back to the top of the second. LSU on top, no score. We are live here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So let's get back to
39
the
as a head coach in college baseball. When he gets his 1,500th win, he'll be just the 5th in Division I history with 1,500 wins and a national.
So Zach Warner comes up here, here at the top of the second.
Kate Doty leads off the second.
No, Kate Doty's fly ball. That's going to be caught in the infield. One gone.
Ricky, this is an LSU.
So one going. So Doherty pops out. Arnold comes up here in the here in the top of the second.
By going undefeated in midweeks. How do you view that game and the scope of LSU's season as a whole? Because Maneri said after the game, he told us there was a lack of focus in that contest for a team that really has a lot on the line coming down the home stretch. How do you view it?
So Zach Warner comes up here. First pitch, the Zach Warner is in there for ball 1. 1-0 is your count. So 1-0 is your count on Zach Warner.
You know, the boys have gotten pretty used to navigating weather delays and thunderstorms rolling in. However, they didn't answer the bell, but you know he did seem to have some grace for the fact that
pitch coming up
all year long that they hadn't won a midweek game, which I will say
ground ball
impressive, especially for
to the shortstop, broke the first in time. So as 2 going for LSU here in the
and getting to that 13-14 win
top of the second.
You know, it doesn't
No
surprise
score.
me that there was
So top of the score, second, no score.
lack of attention to detail on their last.
I don't know why that strike zone thing's not working right.
He's shuffled some guys around. He's
Okay, Bianco comes up here in the top of the second. First pitch.
Drew Bianco.
That's going to be in there for strike 1. 0-1 is your count.
Tatum with a hot run here.
So 0-1 is your count coming up.
You're 300.
Pitch. Swing and a miss. So that's going to bring up 0-2 for Dean Bianco.
The guy only had one
Here for the LSU Tigers here in the top of the second. Score is no score. Pitch.
Just hasn't clicked, but because
Swing and a miss. So he goes down on strikes. And that will end the inning for LSU. So quick inning for LSU. here. Ground out pop outs for LSU and strikeouts. So once again, your score is scoreless here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We are live tonight. We are on ESPNU. So once again, we cannot show the video, but we can play audio as well. If you want to listen to the game, that'd be fine. So let's give you the scoring plays for LSU here in the top of inning number 2. No runs, no hits, no errors, no men left on base. Score is 2-0, no score here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So thanks for joining us, 2 viewers. Appreciate you coming in. So we'll get back in just a few minutes with LSU baseball. So let's give you an update on some games going on in and around the NBA tonight. We also have NBA games going on as well. So we got the so let's give you an update on some NBA games going on. Okay, once again, NHL games going on. End of the first period, it is Florida on top 2-0, and also Pittsburgh on top 1-0. That game's going on in the NHL playoffs. Let's give you an NBA scoreboard update. Okay, NBA scoreboard update, and then we'll get back to LSU baseball. Okay, the game between the Wizards and Pacers will begin at 7. So let's get back to LSU baseball here on
make the start game
Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Series this season. Signs is the one not listed, but Landon Marceau has the best ERA among all of them. 56 and 2/3 innings pitched. He might not have the strikeout numbers of Kamar Rocker, but you could argue, based on these numbers,
Kamar, I'm going to tell you, that young man's an absolute beast for Vanderbilt. So he's a pretty good pitcher.
And oh, by the way,
So the pitch coming up
amount of innings is Kamar, so it's not like he's working on
here the middle of the second, and it's going to be in there for
what have you.
ball 1-1-0 is your count. Landon Marceau throws the first ball.
3 strength of schedule in the country, and it essentially played everybody the SEC has to offer. So for him to have the lowest ERA with
Pitch coming up, swing and a miss.
Impressive.
So they evens the count 1-1.
No.
No. Okay.
So it's going to be Smith coming up here in the
Okay. He's used
bottom of inning number 2. Here's the pitch. That's going to be in there for a ball, so it's going to bring the count 2-1. 2-1 is your count.
6 1/3 innings.
I don't know why the game cast is not working properly. Hopefully, let us know if it's not working. You see the pitch, swing and a miss. So that's going to be 2-2.
But it's almost like the flip of some of the starts Rockers had, where he's had, the one game against Bama, he had 5 innings,
so his
strikeouts, and gave up 5
This
runs.
is on a 2-2 pitch. Smith coming up the back.
Lines,
Here's your pitch.
from some of our best, some of the
Ground ball.
this year. Certainly Marceau and Rocker have
The
had-
throw the first is in time, 1 gone. So Smith grounds out to the second baseman. So 1 out in the inning for the Aggies.
Marceau had a pretty good start against Arkansas back on April 30th. LSU got shut out 7-0. He didn't allow a hit for the first 6, ended up with 8 Ks and no walks. But he got outlasted by Wicklander. You saw him throw that night.
Oh, he was filthy. The changeup was swing and miss. And again, you've seen it tonight. That the ability to throw a
Pitch coming up.
count for a strike.
In there for a strike. So it's going to be
That heater look backdoor
0-1.
right there. I'm just telling you, it's elite level pitchability. D1 Baseball came out with their top 150.
pitch coming up for Marceau.
starting pitchers.
Swing and a miss. So that's going to be 0-2
Sixth. So
on
the top 5, Tommy, is lighter.
Hole Minor. Hole Minor. That's HOE.
McKaysey from Ole Miss, and then Marceau. So obviously people are
HNER.
even though
If I'm
maybe
spelling
the
it right.
total isn't gaudy, he has had an
Here's your
outstanding
pitch.
season.
That's going to be in the dirt. So that's going to bring the count 1-2. So 1-2 is your count.
By way of Cisco College, a couple years in Cisco. family of Aggies, siblings.
Pitch
John,
coming up.
Caroline.
Swing.
All Aggies. That one was almost in Milazzo's mitt.
Yep, so it almost was a strikeout. Pitch coming up.
Here's the 1-2 to Honer.
Honer, and that pitch is yeah, so it's Honer. Still 2-2 to Honer. Next guy is going to be
About a week and a half away from
Pitch.
Selection Monday.
and that's going to be called strike three. Landon Marshall gets his first K. So first K of the even. So strikes out Horner here in the
On the other hand, for Texas A&M, it's
bottom of the second. Scores scoreless.
Been as regular
So
participants
Blown,
season as the
SB.
Aggies have. Been quite a run for Rob Childress. Since a Texas native.
So ground ball
from Nebraska.
to the third baseman. The throw is in time, and the inning is over.
2-3 frame work by Marceau. Pitch should start both sides. Bottom of the order, due up for LSU.
So LSU heads into the top of the third. Score no score. DiGiacomo comes up for the LSU Tigers here in the top of the third. So let's give you the plays. Okay, I'm going to give you the plays in the bottom of the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, no men left on base. Once again, they ground out, strike out, and ground out. So ground out, strike out, ground out. So the score is still scoreless here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We'll give you an MLB scoreboard update. Let's see if I can go over and give you an MLB scoreboard update. I'll give you an MLB game scoreboard updates. Okay, Pirates and Braves on ESPN Plus. No score, so that game's going on in the top of the first. Also, other scores, Phillies and Marlins scoreless, top of the second. Also, the Angels on top 4-0, top of the first. Yankees win 2-0 over the Rangers. And Astros win 8-4. And also the game will be around 6:30. Will be Red Sox and Toronto Blue Jays. So that games will be later on this evening. And we'll give you college baseball game updates as well. So we will be doing that as well throughout the broadcast here. Okay, college baseball game updates. Okay, final scores. East Carolina wins 10-1. Top of the sixth, 5-2. UC Wilmington on top 4-1. Notre Dame on top 2-0. And North Carolina State on top 1-0. Mississippi State and Alabama scoreless, top of the second. So
here's number 3.
So
that RPI right now, I can say this. LSU's got a damn good RPI if they're going to get into the tournament. So they're going to have to do some work. So I think if they host, I don't think they're going to host the regional this year. I think they're going to be in a regional, but they will not host the regional. So the pitch,
lost their opening round game.
that's going to be in there for a strike. That's
excuse me, what did I
Sage.
No, I'm just
No,
sorry.
DiGiacomo coming out. Excuse me, DiGiacomo. I'm not. I don't want to.
That should give the
DiGiacomo. Here's the pitch, swing, and that's going to be a ground ball throw at the first and time.
Their resume outside of this.
So that's going to be one out in the inning. Giacomo grounds out. Thompson comes up for the LSU Tigers here in the top of inning number 3.
And there's one down now for Jordan Thompson.
So Jordan Thompson comes up.
Of course, Tommy, the unknowns there are always.
Jordan Thompson hitting 254. He has a slug percentage of 420. OP on-base percentage of 337. Here's your pitch. That's in there for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. So let's start off the top of inning number 3. His score is scoreless.
I guess what I really struggle with is if we can't use the RPI.
Pitch coming up. Swing and a miss. So one is your count on Thompson.
Yeah, and I totally understand the limitations that are on that metric this year. Then how can you use it for the SEC unless you're only comparing apples to apples, team to team in the SEC?
Pitch that's going to be fouled off.
Otherwise,
So that's going to bring the count
it's
1-2.
really hard to find
So 1-2 is your count.
comparable statistic or metric that will allow you to.
I think the RPI should be used. If they have a strong RPI, I think they should use it to ensure that team that's going to make the NCAA regionals.
Wasn't that sort of
But the thing is,
pollination?
they're going to look at their resume, what they did, good, lost, bad teams, and stuff like that. So it's going to be up to the committee. LSU, like I said, doesn't win this series this weekend and kind of loses in the SEC tournament. They're going to have to wait for the committee to get them in. But you got it starts tonight. It starts tonight with Texas A&M. The last game is of the regular season. Here's your pitch. That's going to be in there. Malazzo is going to bring it.
It did seem based on
Strike one more. 0-1 is your count.
That the RPI was factored in some of that decision making. I'm thinking specifically
Pitch coming up
South Carolina
for Malazzo. That's going to bring it up to 1-1. So 1-1 is your count for Malazzo.
Of course, made the committee look good by sweeping last weekend. But I'm with you, and I agree with
Here's your pitch.
that they really need to look at, kind of beyond some of those.
That's going to be a fly ball to right field, and that is going to be caught. And the inning is going to be over. So let's go ahead and give you the plays. Okay, in the top of the third, no runs, no hits, no errors. No men left on base. Once again, ground out, fly out inning for LSU. Your score is still scoreless here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So we're going to the bottom of the third. So let's give you some more college baseball scores. I'm going to go through more college baseball scores while we wait. Okay, Louisiana Tech on top 3-0. Florida on top 1-0. Top of the second, scoreless between South Carolina and Tennessee. Also, Ole Miss and Georgia's scoreless as well. So that is in the top 25 college baseball. Let's see what happened with Tulane. Give you an update on Tulane baseball as well. Okay, Tulane loses 10-6, and Tulane leads in the top of the seventh. Your score is 8-4. So let's give you. I'm going to get an update on that. Give you an update what's going on. Okay, I'm going to screen this. I'm going to show this on the screen. It is 8-5. So 8-5. So I'm going to give you an update. So I'm going to pull this Gamecast. I'm going to switch Gamecasts for a few seconds. It is 8-5. Tulane DeVito is pitching for the Greenway. Nicholson is batting, so that's in the bottom half of the seventh. So Santiago did single. They had a wild pitch and also a single. So they have a runner at first and nobody out. So that is in the Tulane game versus Cincinnati. So we'll get back to LSU baseball. LSU, no score. We're entering the bottom of the third.
Ability to carry a team that's, on the doorstep, at least has a chance this weekend to play for an SEC championship. So as impressive as Frizzell, Morgan, some of the other candidates have been, for me, it's Tanner Allen.
Pitch.
Guys in that edit.
And that's going to be in there low ball 1-0 is your count. That's Harris coming up the bat here in the bottom of inning number 3.
He's struggling with the bat, just 4 for his last 30.
So the pitch coming up, and that's going to be a fly ball
And he sends this one to left center
to
field.
left center
Giacomo
field,
on
and
the
it's
scoring
going
side. That
to
one will hit the track and hop the
go
wall.
off the wall.
Eli Harrison
So
stands
it's going to
up
be
in second
a double.
base, the leadoff double.
So double
Second
for
hit of the game for A&M.
Texas A&M. Runner at second.
Beautiful swing, and I'm just noticing
One.
defensive replacement. That was Ben Bianco running
Nobody out.
center field. But finally, something over the middle of the plate, up and out over the plate. And the freshman, talk about freshman, catch a ball deep, and that is a big ball for Kalai Harrison. As the Aggies got something going here, runner and scoring.
So Texas A&M has a runner at first and nobody out. So once again, your score is no score. Next batter up is El Joko.
Giovanni DiGiacomo out of this game. Drew Bianco
But
in center field.
and that's going to be
Ray Alejo.
Alejo. Yes, Alejo. Excuse me, Alejo. Ray Alejo comes up here in the so 0-1 is your count on that pitch.
And that was after they had a quick team meeting in the dugout. And you wonder, with no hits first trip through the order, if either DiGiacomo, he was injured early in the season, is injured.
Pitch coming up.
Barry is sending a message.
And it looks like a bunt situation for Texas A&M. And they're going to put the bunt down as towards the third baseline. The throw is going to be off base.
Harrison will come around from third, and the Aggies have a lead.
So Aggies go up 1-0.
It still is an issue.
I mean, that was something. That was a bad fielding judgment by LSU on that third base bunt side. When they bunted to the third base side, that was a dangerous play right there.
And the ball just has the tendency to find.
So he also threw it really low.
And you'll see this as
So I'd say, hey, he was safe. So that was a bad. That was an error by LSU. So once again, that is
they can
a
throw
sack hit.
serious sinkers over there, and that's a ball that Cranford should handle, but certainly not the best throw there by Marceau. And the Aggies add one, Tommy, they're just trying to sack bunt.
Rob Childress is having a conversation. I believe that is Daniel Cricks, the first base umpire. And Rob Childress perhaps looking for obstruction on Cranford coming across the bag.
No, there wasn't an obstruction. So 1-0 Texas A&M on top after the bunt single by Texas A&M.
Cranford just doesn't get there, and then he's just kind of in the path.
Fielder has the right to field the ball. Here's Jordan Thompson.
Thompson swing and a miss.
And I want to go back to.
So it's another Jordan Thompson, not LSU's Jordan Thompson. It's another Jordan Thompson for Texas A&M. So for one. So 1-0 Texas A&M after a muff throw. Pitch coming up here. Throw it to first, and the runner gets back in time safely.
Very, very well, and I know that.
And the count is 0-1.
We're really excited to get him back. I mean, they Bianco's done a nice job kind of filling in that role, but DiGiacomo is their
Pitch coming up.
and most reliable center fielder. So for him to come out of the game due to something other than injury, I would say it would have to.
It's going to be a fly ball. It's going to be in right field, and that's going to be caught.
Makes a catch.
So it makes it 1 out.
Locked it first.
So 1 out in the inning. So Thompson flies out. So 1 out in the inning for Texas A&M. So a runner at first.
On that sacrifice error, it was charged to Cranford, the second baseman. Fazell was walked his first.
Fazell comes up here for Texas A&M. Well, Fazell walked earlier in the innings. Here's your pitch. in there for
There's
ball
currently a
one.
three-way tie for first place.
1-0 is your count. On Will Fazell.
Fourth in the country.
He's his numbers
Second in the nation.
speak for itself.
This is an LSU.
Total bases he's second. Home runs 4. RBI is 55th for Will Fazell. Pitch, that's going to be in the dirt. That's going to bring the count to 2-0. So 2-0 is your count. So once again, your score is 1-0 Texas A&M.
There's definitely been some issues this year, but by and large, the
Pitch coming up here.
has been pulled off.
Also throws to
at a very high rate.
Morgan.
I don't think there's many teams that have lost.
and the runner gets back
You know,
at first.
Louisville
Yes,
series, a
it's
big one in the ACC that got called off, but the SEC hasn't lost a single series, has it, Tom?
Not due to COVID. 3 ACC series were lost. There were some
2-0 is the count. Here's your pitch. That's going to be once again low. Brings the count to 3-0 on Will Fazell here in the bottom of the third.
In fact, if I'm not mistaken, is that how South Carolina ended up playing Texas and going to Austin this year?
That's correct. Yeah, they lost the series.
And then you lose that series and you replace it with a top 10, top 5 opponent.
Pitch coming up.
Backup plan.
That's going to be a walk, so ball
Brazil
4.
walked on 4 straight.
So runners on first and second, and one gone. Next batter is Bose coming up for Texas A&M.
He is not even messing.
So innings once again continues for Texas A&M.
Yes, sir.
He does not seem the least bit frustrated about it.
Here's Austin Bose, who is 0 for 1 of the fielder's choice. It'll start the ball 5 chant. Hits a little bit different when school is not in session on this Thursday night.
Yep. So congratulations to all the graduates. And that's in there for a strike.
As he grooves one into Bose.
That's going to be Bose. That makes it 0-1 for Bose. Austin Bose 0 for 1.
Against Auburn last weekend. He just won for 16 over his last 4 games. Junior from Groves, Texas. Showed up after a year at Panola College.
Pitch coming up for Landon Marceau. Swing and a miss.
0-2.
So it's going to be 0-2.
We talked about at the top.
So 0-2 for Will Bose.
Second pitch.
But I'm going to tell you, Landon Marceau needs to get out this inning real quick because it's going to get really hot once. Because you got runners at first and second. It's going to get really hot with these runs coming in because Texas A&M is no slouch. They will not.
Ability to consistently change speeds.
That's going to be fouled off, so it brings it 0-2.
Where is he comfortable with his velocity?
Well, he's got the 2-seamer and the 4-seamer, so you'll see that 2-seamer.
So if you're in here, you want to comment about LSU baseball, or if you want to come in video chat, please use StreamYard links, post it in Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
He wants it to have some late life and some late fade to it, so he doesn't maybe overthrow that one like he does when he wants to grab that 4-seamer.
Pitch.
Runner goes.
It's going to be a high fly ball to right field, and it's going to be caught.
And hustling back.
The runners will stay at first and second. 2 outs in the inning.
2 down. That'll bring Satori to the plate.
Satori coming up for
the SEC, whose regular season champ is coming down the wire. Also the Big 12.
Texas A&M. So Satori
lead on Texas for the Big 12 title.
That's
Texas owns the tiebreaker.
Logan Satori. 0 for 1 for him.
The Little Apple tonight lead Kansas State 1-0, and Texas and West Virginia are scoreless in Austin.
Okay, pitch coming up. That's in there for strike.
Breaking ball in for a strike. Where does Logan?
So it brings the count 0-1. So I'd say Landon Marceau, look, he's got he walked 2 batters. I mean, look, if you can get these quick outs, get out this inning,
until
I mean,
he
he'll be fine.
was stuck on the
But the
interstate.
truth of the matter is, you got to get out these innings.
You know,
You can't just prolong these innings. Pitch coming up.
Like he's thinking he just
That's going to be in there for ball one.
And it's interesting.
1-1 is your count.
Coaches, and it's always in a complimentary way when they talk about Sartori. They just talk about that confidence of a kid who believes he can hit. And as anybody who's been around the game of baseball knows, a big part to being a good hitter is you got to believe in you.
Pitch coming up here.
There's so much failure if you don't.
Swing and a miss and a throw to
Double steal.
second, and it's going to be safe.
Cranford not happy with the call made by veteran umpire Scott Klein. And the Aggies get aggressive with Alejo taking.
So runners at first, second, and third.
Yeah, so
I mean, they get a stolen base.
LSU. You got Frizzell on first base and Alejo.
So it's a double steal right there. They couldn't. I'll be honest with you. They couldn't get. They could have got one of them, but I would have ended the inning. But that was kind of. Let's see where that tag was a good tag, but unfortunately they called them safe.
Sometimes, Tommy, when it's a double steal, the back guy thinks they're never going to go for him, but LSU wisely tried to get Frizzell on the backside, but it looks like he certainly did beat him.
Yeah, he beat him by a mile. I think he did. I mean, that's probably
under review.
Yeah, he kind of went in. He kind of went through that tag right there. So we got through that tag. So I say he's out in safely. So they're probably gonna keep the call.
Got it right. And Sartori will be looking at a 1-2 pitch. Alex Milazzo happy just to be in the lineup tonight. He had to be taken out of the game early in that midweek contest. Took a pitch below the belt that touched it.
And even though, like I said, if they would have got one of those guys, it would have been the inning would have been over. But unfortunately, it was a double steal. Frizzell went to second. Ayla Joe went to third. So Alec, yep, that's going to be safe. And I said it was going to be a double steal. All stands.
Great camera work. Will Frizzell gets in there.
Yeah, that camera wasn't wrong. So runners at second and third and 2 outs. Santoro comes up with a 1-2 count. Here's your pitch. That's going to be in there for 2-2. So it's now an even 2-2 count. I mean, this would be a great time for Texas A&M to get those runs in. Because you got runners at second and third.
Sartori into the starting
Sartori, here's your pitch.
Late in the season.
Ground ball
He pulls this one to the left side.
to the third baseline, and he throws it in time. So that ends the inning for Texas A&M. And we'll mute the
Hey, Doty, folks, do it. Save a pair right here. Get to a knee, backhand to your feet.
That was a good throw by Cade Doty to get the runner at first. So once again, score is 1-0. Let's give you the scoring plays. Okay, at the end of bottom of the third. Once again, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 men left on base. The inning began with a muff throw. So that was on a bunt. Also, Frizzell walked in the game. So the 2 runners that was on base was left stranded. So once again, the score is 1-0 here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So thanks for joining us. We'll see who's in our broadcast. Looks like I will put a note to everybody. Let me go ahead and put a note. Okay. Once again, the note it says we do not allow any videos. How they scored? They scored on a sack bunt. Drake Garrison. I got it on the screen. They did score on a sack bunt. So it was a sack bunt. So it's 1-0 Texas A&M. So 1-0 Texas A&M on top. So once again, no videos allowed during the broadcast due to copyrights. We have to play audio.
First in the league.
What we have to do. We're not trying to take anything away from people, but it is the rules
He's third in the league in batting, and
of those three platforms we're on. And that's going to be a ground ball. Throws to first in time.
He's got dinner reservations.
So one gone for the LSU Tigers here in the top of inning number 4.
Just like a minute.
That'll bring Dylan Cruz to the plate.
Okay, Dylan Cruz comes up.
Kind of joking earlier. There's some Kyle Simons to this. When he threw his no-hitter against Vandy a couple of years ago, that was a Maddox. I think he drove 92.
So Dylan Cruz comes up.
Less than that, but yeah, it was.
Here's your pitch.
Under 100.
In there.
There are
for a ball.
Starting pitcher
1-0 is your count.
The other team helps you out, and Simons has been helped by LSU's aggression in this game.
Pitch. That's going to be in there for a
2-0 now behind, and they
ball. 2-0 is your count. That's going to be Dylan Cruz.
I'm calling the first one right here, Tommy.
Here's the pitch. That's going to be in there for ball 3. So once again, 3 balls, no strikes to Dylan Cruz here in the top of inning number 4.
Obviously, the statistics would back
so
that
we will
up.
give you the
sharp at 93 right on their hands, and we've seen a
pitch.
number of swings and misses at the slide.
And that pitch is going to be ball 4. Walk. So the runner goes to first. So if you can hear the game audio broadcast from ESPNU, let us know. If you can't hear it, I will turn it up a little bit more so you can hear it. I know it's kind of a little complicated with me talking and then the broadcasters talking. It's kind of, we'll kind of pull it up.
And we already, I think we have most of the Skip Bertman stories. I can't wait to watch that because there's guaranteed.
Okay, Dugas comes up here in the
surprise even us.
Top of the 4th. Here's your pitch, fouled off, 1-0-1.
I just hope they got Ben to do the full Monty Bertman impression because there is nothing quite like it. You see. The fingers too. You got to see the fingers. I mean, Ben literally transforms into Skip Bertman. It's certainly a sight to see.
Yeah, we do got so for one of the strikeout. They'll keep a close eye on Cruz.
So Cruz gets back at first. This year. 0-1 to Dugas.
Can you imagine, by the way, just Ben's stories alone, how many laughs Skip Bertman's players
That's going to be in there for a strike. So brings it to 0-2.
Not only just the unique nature with which he managed that program and every element of that program. Of course, the famous stories about sending assistant coaches to go check the temperature of the coffee and make sure the hot dogs were warm enough and those kinds of things. But
throw is
for the game, and Ben tells all these great stories. I remember he told me a story once that
the first one it stays at first. That's Cruz.
2 outs and a full count, and he put the take sign on with the hitter. Like this guy's gonna bounce a break. I'll take. Sure enough, ball 4. Just had an incredible feel for the game.
That's going to be in the dirt.
And
the runner stays at first, so he didn't move on that
this was not
pitch in the dirt.
The 50-year, kind of Mike Martin tenure, right? I mean, it was domination over about a decade and a half.
Certainly had the players to dominate.
Throw back to first.
Throw over.
Cruz stays
You guys
put.
had a good series against Alabama, 4 for 11. OBP of 429.
Now to throw over
Another
to
throw.
first.
Cruz the
17.
first
Cruz will.
penalty base runner so far for LSU.
Sorry about that.
They trying to be aware of his base stealing.
Maybe that's 18. But
Cruz.
5 natties.
It's been
Built it from scratch in many ways.
pitch. That's going to be
Pitch in the dirt, hit him,
so it's going to be hit by a pitch.
and they throw it away,
Oh,
and that's going to allow an extra base for Cruz.
that's going to be an extra base.
Yeah, you're right.
So first and third.
HPP falls dead. I guess Cruz was thinking that was a ball in the dirt. And I like it. You try to read that ball down and get a great jump. You take off and go. You don't wait to see the umpire call dead ball or
That's going to be no first and second. Excuse me.
And then bring Cade Doty to play 2 on with 1.
So he was hit by a pitch. So do guys
my
hit by a
friend's
pitch?
Story, I asked him years ago. I said, "How did you build this program? Like, what was the one thing that you had to have?" And I'm not going to try to do. Rob Childress going to make a visit.
So it looks like a mound visit for
But if you can hear
Texas
his voice
A&M.
when I say this, just imagine my reaction when he said, "Diaper changing stations." Coach, what? Excuse me? So we had to have diaper changing stations because we needed the entire family to come to the game, and mom ain't coming to the game. She can't change the baby's diaper. This was different time, different era, obviously, but point was
So
made.
they're going to break it up. So the umps will break it up.
From his time in Miami, you got to have an entertaining product, get people to the ballpark, and once you start doing that, you start making money. Then
So
the
they,
whole world opens up.
Break it up,
Children's
and
quick chat
we resume
after
play.
walking in a hit by
Score
pitch.
is still 1-0. Texas A&M. Texas A&M scored on a throwing error that was on a bunt.
The
So,
tree of Skip Bertman obviously produced Mike Bianco, who did the same thing at Ole Miss. Now, they haven't won the national championships, but you talk about building a program that has captivated the school and the fan base and done very well at the cash register. Mike Bianco took that Skip Bertman blueprint and executed it.
So that's going to be a foul ball.
Doty, sophomore from Denham.
So Doty,
first one up, 4 hits last weekend against Alabama. 0 for 1 of the
0 for 1 for Cade Doty here in the top of inning number 4.
Two on and 1 out.
Pitch. Fly ball.
Into left center
To left
field.
center
Alejo
field,
goes
and
back,
that's
and
going to
Alejo
be
in center makes the catch.
makes the catch. So it brings so it's going to be 2
Two
gone,
down.
and that's Zach Orner coming up here in the top of inning number 4. So 2 outs in the inning. So Doty flies out to center field.
Sophomore from Temecula, California. Zach Arnold, coming out of high school, had the
Zach
most
Arnold coming up here for the Tigers here in the top of the 4th.
And he was upset because the doctor wouldn't let him keep the rib. Then it sounds ridiculous,
Pitch
doesn't it?
in there for strike,
But
so
there
that's
was
going
an
to bring the
A&M
count
pitcher
0-1
5 years ago.
to Zach
I had to
Arnold.
dig it up. It, those Kyle Simons teams around the time he threw that no-hitter. That not only kept it, but he made it into a necklace. Some of my Aggie friends will send me a text reminding me who that was.
Pitch. That's going to be in there
Even
for
more reason for Zach Arnold to be upset.
ball 1 on 1 is your count.
Why don't
That
we
should have
say
been a strike, but unfortunately it is a ball.
before Braden Shoemake?
Yes.
You might be right. My buddy Gabe Bach was still doing radio. He'd chime in and shoot me a text.
It's going to be fouled off towards the backstop. So that's going to bring the count 1-2 on Zach Arnold.
Now you got me curious.
Guess back in the production room was Austin Holman. But I think, yeah, that's the guess. I mean, feel free to help us out. I think as broadcasters, we should start doing this. Like, hey, I kind of remember a story, but I don't know the details. So if you want to chime in via social media, Tom_Hart, do my job for me.
Pitch,
It's a great
swing, and a miss, so that ends the inning. That was a bit very,
still hasn't allowed a hit, but he had to deal with traffic
very bad
the first
inning for the
time
LSU
tonight.
Tigers.
Aggies
So once again, let's give you the scoring plays.
1-0 lead.
Okay, scoring plays. I have to mute due to the commercials. Let's give you the top of the fourth. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 men left on base. The inning began with Morgan grounding out. Cruz walked. Also, Dugas hit by a pitch, and also Doherty flied out, and Arnold struck out. So that was in the top of the fourth. We go to the bottom half of the fourth. Your score is still scoreless. Okay, also 3 innings of work. He has 2 hits, given up 1 run. None of them was earned. He walked 2, struck out 1. So his pitch count is 44. So 44 on his pitch count. So your score is still 1-0 here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Once again, we are live, audio only with the with ESPNU. Cannot show the video. I mean, I don't know how many times I got to say it to people, but we like I said, we have to enforce the rules. Like okay, let's give you an update on some games going on in the Tulane baseball update. It is 9-8, so 9-8. Cincinnati on top. That's in the bottom of the 8th on Tulane and Cincinnati. Their game's going on up in Cincinnati. They lost in the first game. That was at 12 noon, 10-6. So that's let's give you SEC game updates. Let's give you an SEC game update. Okay, SEC game updates. Mississippi State and Alabama scoreless. Top of the fourth. Florida on top in the bottom of the third, 3-0 against Arkansas. Tennessee on top in the top of the fourth, 3-0. Kentucky and Vanderbilt scoreless. Top of the second. Vanderbilt and Missouri. Auburn and Missouri. Excuse me. So Auburn and Missouri. Scoreless.
We get to
okay. Once again, first pitch is in there for a ball. 1-0 she count.
Opened up attendance to 100% for their tournament.
Thanks for joining us.
And the SEC has announced today that single game tickets have gone on sale.
Bottom of the fourth.
I wonder how many folks will end up.
Swing and a miss.
Single game tickets go on sale.
So that's going to bring the count to
6 o'clock.
1-1.
Or 1 hour.
So the SEC tournament will begin next week. We will have coverage of SEC tournament, LSU side. If LSU makes the tournament, we will have coverage for you. So all the way through the SEC championship. So
that it snows
we will be here for that. Okay, ground out by Smith. So score is still 1-0 Texas A&M going into the bottom half of the fourth.
I'm anxious to see how it is held or how it is handled.
I would think they're going to sell as many tickets as they can.
Pitch
Surprise me.
in there for ball.
Based on
1-0 is your count.
how many teams in the Southeast have been operating at 100% capacity.
Here's Mikey Honer, 0 for 1.
Honer coming up for Texas A&M. Pitch, that's going to be a swing and a miss, so that brings the count to 1-1.
Softball and baseball, if local municipalities will allow, sites will be allowed to go to 100% attendance.
So that's good. I'm glad to see that 100%.
In Uptown Charlotte.
That's going to be
and they will
low and away, so it brings the count to 2-1. So Horner,
which is a beautiful
for Texas A&M
for the ACC to have their tournament in such a fantastic setting. As you and I both know, they're in downtown Charlotte, which is a elite city.
Makes the count.
And I'm just excited the NCAA has
3-1.
reconsidered their position and is going to allow
So
packed
3-1
houses
is your count.
as the
So
the
let's see what
local
else they
states and cities
provide.
decide,
Horner
because
gets your
you
pitch.
and I both know
That's going to
these
be ball
postseason
4. And the
events
runner
are
will
what
go
it's
to
all
first
about.
here in the
Mikey Horner reaches with a
bottom of the
one-out
fourth. So
walk,
Horner
third walk
reaches.
from Landon Marceau, that ballpark in Uptown Charlotte known as Truist Field these days. Here's Bryce Ball.
I mean, a lot of them. They're going to have a lot of regional sites. I'm going to tell you.
I'm not only excited about the
I mean,
conference
Louisiana Tech might be
and
one of them.
back in
In Ruston.
We'll have a chance
So that'd be
to
the first time they
celebrate
get a
the
regional
Cup
as a
every year.
top
But
tier
what I'm
team.
most excited about with the news that came
I mean,
out
they're not going to reach the top 8. No, they might get into 16 and host.
will be able to sell every ticket they have.
Now LSU, I'll be honest with you, I
Almost as
don't
much
think
as
they're going to host
I
this year.
really believe sells
if you're
the
asking.
game to the casual
I don't think they're gonna
sports fan who
host.
gets introduced to
I mean,
college
sure, they got a good
this
RPI,
time of year.
but I don't think it's good enough for the
Super regional
selection committee to give
super
them a whole
regional
site.
environments
I
are
really
the
don't.
greatest showcase that college baseball has, and obviously the College World Series is the biggest event. But the super regionals give you a flavor
Pitch.
of all the
That's
different
gonna be in there
venues
for
all
a
over the
strike.
country, right? And how
So
many
that's going to
people
bring the count to
in
0-2.
parts of
to,
America really love this sport. And so to be able to sell all those out, if those states are allowing it, will
To
be
Blem,
fantastic. for the sport.
VA,
And I think
L,
that the whole country
UM.
can celebrate that we
There
got to
still
this
will be
point.
here's a pitch.
there will still be some
That's gonna be
spots
in there
that
for,
have
ball
restrictions,
1.
and they will certainly
1-2 is your count.
stick out. But hopefully the ones that don't have, and they can really sell the sport, stick out even more. Ball and 2 strikes to Blom.
That's Blom, excuse me. Blom. It kind of sounds.
This ball is
That ball's going to go all the way to the wall.
Mikey Hunter motors to third. Dugas gets it out of there. Hunter coming home.
Holman coming home, and that's going to
They
score
got
the
it
run.
in
Makes
play.
it 2-0.
Catcher tried to score from first, denied by Dugas and Thompson.
So,
What a relay by the LSU Tigers. And
that was a good relay
as
throw.
swing as
So that was a prevention right there.
by Bryce Blom. You got to give Gavin Dugas and Jordan Thompson a whole bunch of credit. Look, barehanded.
Now that was a
strike,
gun throw right
move your
there. He
feet
was
and
throwing to
rip it
a plate to
right
cut
on
off
the line, right on time
the
to
runner.
get Honer at the plate. And
So Horner,
Jordan Thompson
Horner
with a
gets caught up.
strike to Milazzo.
So he did not score.
get
So
Horner
Horner
easily.
gets caught up,
And Chad Kai, the
and
third
that's
base
going to be
coach
an
of
out.
Texas
So Bryce,
A&M,
Stu gone.
was
Harrison comes up
displeased
for
with
A&M.
himself, to say the least,
So
because
it was.
usually with one
I mean,
out,
because like I said,
and your
Blom
catcher
just
running,
hit a double.
You put on the brakes right
He just
there,
absolutely hit the
give yourself a
triple.
chance with second and third.
He got a triple out of
Just
it,
one
but
out, especially here
the other
first
guy
half of the ball game.
did not score.
He takes
Horner.
a chance, and LSU makes him pay.
Harrison doubled his first
Gonna be
time.
foul.
Trickles this one foul. We saw the double steal from A&M in the third inning.
So that's
We see him send
Kaylee,
Hunter trying to score all the way from first.
Harrison.
Is
He's on
is
1
Texas
for 1
A&M
tonight,
at a
double on the
position
run.
going into the series? We know that they got to win the series just to have a chance to make it into Hoover. Are they playing more aggressively?
Well, I think that's the style of play that Chad Kai wants to implement. He wants to push the envelope. He wants to make this offense go a little bit
Yep,
more.
so that is gonna be a,
not just rely
strike.
on
So,
the long ball. But sometimes you win some, you lose some. As a third base coach, you're making split-second decisions. And obviously, it needed to be a perfect relay to retire Honer at the plate. And boy, did they
It's going to
pull
be
it
a
off.
fly ball
Harrison pops it up,
out to left field,
Yes.
and it's going to be caught.
makes the routine.
And that inning is over.
Making the
But
sensational-
LSU prevents a run here in the bottom of inning number 4. Your score is still 1-0. Here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Let's give you the actual plays. I'm going to go back to the 4th inning. Okay, once again, for Texas A&M, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left on base. That was Blomer. He was left on base at third after Hornet was thrown out at the plate by the LSU left fielder. So it's a good throw. So once again, your score is 1-0 here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So thanks for joining us here. We are live, LSU baseball. So Bianco comes up here in the top of the fifth when we come back. So the score is 1-0. We're waiting for the feeds to return from ESPNU. So let's give you an update on some baseball games going on in college baseball tonight. So we're going to go through all the college baseball top 25s first. I'll go through those top 25 games. Okay, games that's going on in earnest. Bottom half of the third, it is Louisiana Tech on top 3-1. Tennessee on top 7-0. Ole Miss and Georgia did not score yet. Vanderbilt and Kentucky still scoreless. Texas and West Virginia tied up at 2. And also Texas Tech on top 3-0. That's in the top of the second. So Kansas is batting. So we get back to LSU baseball here. So we enter at the top of the fifth inning. The score is 1-0.
Scotland had his rib removed and made it into a necklace. Thomas Dick has weighed in trying to help us out, the sensational Texas A&M sports information director. How about George Yoncha? That's going
to be in there. Looks like it's going to be
He
called
did play
a
short.
ball.
Yoncha
1-0 is the count. That's going to be Bianco.
Sorry, I was not totally off. Maybe he was more.
Here's your pitch.
Now that I think back.
That's going to be in there for a strike. That's going to be one.
Here's the other thing. It could also be
1-1 is your count.
AJ Minter with thoracic outlet syndrome as a freshman. Could have been well off on the position.
And that pitch is going to be outside for 2-1
to end the second. He started this game at second base. He is now playing center field after Giovanni DiGiacomo left after his third inning AB.
That pitch is going to be
You've made such an impression.
makes the count 3-1.
Removal necklace.
3-1 is your count. Now 2-2. Excuse me. 2-2.
Her husband
2-2.
has his own rib necklace. So
I thought it was frame
we
one.
might have rib necklace trending by the end of the night. Keep it up.
Even 2-2. It's going to be fouled
If
off.
you run a jewelry business, here's a new idea.
Market
Rib
yourself.
necklaces. Yeah. Sounds like something Fred Flintstone would have hawked. 2-2 to Bianco. Interesting that Bianco, and we're just talking to Palmineri about
Pitch.
his versatility defensively.
Strike 3 call. So
And he goes down
Bianco
looking.
goes
That's the
down on
same time he
strikes.
struck out. That's the sign.
Stanford comes up here in the
SEC and
top of the
strikeout
fifth.
called, and he gets his first backwards K of the night.
Yeah, he's doing a nice job of mixing with the fastball up and in, and then the slider down and in. And so he does a really good job of tunneling those two pitches. And as a hitter, you're trying to discern which one that is, because both of them come out of very similar
pitch. That's going to be in there for a strike.
He can kind of flip that.
That's going to be
slider in,
Cranford,
back
so it
foot.
breaks the count to
And then he can throw a
0-1.
short one at your back foot when he wants a swing and a miss, or he goes to that fastball in. And man, has he been sharp.
Pitch coming up, swing and a miss.
Cranford with a
So
swing and a
Cranford
miss.
swings at
91.
the
He's quickly down to
pitch.
the count, nothing.
So the count's going to be up 0-2.
It's been a while since Cranford has been in this position. He hasn't started since May 1st. That was game 2.
Pitch coming up here,
He only has one.
0-2.
since 8
Now the count's going to be 1-2.
Sophomore from Zachary, Louisiana.
So the count is still 1-2.
Last year supplanted
On
Hal Hughes at shortstop.
Cranford, here's your pitch, swing and a miss. So he goes down on strikes. So 2 in a row for
signs.
the Texas A&M pitcher,
And he
striking
has
out
it going. You tell
Cranford
LSU
and
is
Bianco
very aware of that breaking
here in the
ball.
top
And
of
Science is doing a nice job.
inning number 5.
Childress too, for just having a really good feel for this ball game right now. As the fastball beats back-to-back hitters.
That was a fastball. That was a pretty good fastball.
Late.
The young man has
And just his
a
ability to
definite
throw that breaking
fastball.
ball so
So
consistently.
the next one's going to be Thompson.
Allows the fastball.
That pitch is going to be swing and a miss, so it's going to bring the count 0-1. I mean, why the hell swing at those pitches that are low and inside? I don't get it. I don't get it. Sure, you want to hit for the fences and stuff like that, but you got to take what they give you. Here's the pitch that's going to be in there for strike 2. So he's in the count, hole 0-2. So Thompson as well.
Freshman from Chula Vista, California, one of a handful of West Coast shortstops starting in the SEC. You could throw Harrison out there, I guess, if you want, being from Hawaii.
That's going to be outside. That's going to bring the count to 1-2 on Thompson. Thompson, look,
pretty west of here.
I mean, Thompson, if he gets a good pitch, he needs to hit it. Don't sit there and let it just stay in that strike zone. Here's the pitch. It's going to be fouled off.
Gonzalez from Ole Miss. Also,
so that counts still 1-2.
It's a pretty special year for young shortstops in the SEC.
I'm going to tell you what.
Man right here,
these innings are absolutely, they just absolutely wasted innings right here. Texas, LSU. They're wasting absolute innings, quality at bats.
Arkansas, another.
That's going to be a swing foul ball. So it's still 1-2.
Guys enter the league this year and have done very, very well for themselves in a league that, you better be ready to play if you're going to man that position in this league as a first-year player.
Ball and 2 strikes to Thompson. 6'1", 176. Watch that one miss low. LSU, in some ways, was lucky to get Thompson to campus. His hamstring first game his senior year was just starting to heal before the pandemic hit. Ended up didn't play anymore.
It's going to be a fly ball to left field.
Foul.
It's going to be a foul ball.
I never saw it. Did you?
I would
Both
say,
got to look at it.
I would say it had the distance, but not the direction. That was a bullet.
Well, can we get exit velo on a foul ball?
No doubt. That was one of those that's sometimes tough to recover from because it's hard to hit a ball that hard 2 swings in a row.
Maybe gives him a changeup.
That's going to be in there for strike 3.
Dustin Signs pays the side, 2 of them backwards. He's got a half dozen strikeouts through 5, and A&M's got a 1-0 lead and a must-win.
If your credit card debt is
so once again, you score 1-0
if you're in over your
here
head.
on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Let's give you the scoring plays. I'm going to give you the scoring plays here in the top of the 5th. Okay, no runs, no hits, no errors. 3 consecutive strikeout by so that was in the inning. So Thompson struck out as well. So 3 consecutive strikeouts. So the inning is over. We're going to the top of inning number 6. Your score is bottom of the 5th. Excuse me, bottom of the 5th. Score is 1-0. So we'll get back to so Thompson's still batting. Looks like 2 outs of the inning. We're waiting for the Bees to return. So we go to the top of so Javen Coleman coming up for the LSU Tigers, the new pitcher. Let's give you his numbers. 2-0 record, 7.32 ERA, 19 innings of work. He gave out 22 hits. He struck out 27 and walked 11.
I like their bullpen.
So ERA is 7.32. So Javen Coleman.
there was nothing that we saw when he was on the
I don't know
mound
why
in the
that
fourth
feeds,
inning to indicate that there wasn't a
why
great
that
drop in
audit
velocity. He allowed the double to blow him. He got Harrison to fly out to left field. Now,
So we're
granted,
going to the
we're
sixth inning.
hundreds
Let's see
of
if I can
miles
refresh
away, so
this.
something happened on his
God,
walk
if
back
I
to the
was
dugout.
still
or in
stuck
the
on the
dugout,
fifth inning, I don't
didn't
know
see
why it's
that
still stuck
either. But here's
on the
Coleman.
fifth
He's
inning.
got 2 starts under his belt through 4 innings in relief of Alabama with 5 strikeouts and 0 walks. Ray Alejo leads off for Texas A&M.
Ray Alejo comes up for Texas A&M. I don't know what's going on with the game cast. I'm trying to get the game cast update, bottom of the fifth, so it's going to be a base hit.
Jordan Thompson and
So they get a base hit, runner at
first.
first.
Swinging for A&M, leadoff single. And we got a circus going on now. Alejo will take advantage.
So Alejo gets he goes back to first.
Well,
but it is a single, but it was a short-lived memory.
Details here, Tommy. So a bullet hit to left field. Watch Jordan Thompson. He gets up and points to second. So Dugas just kind of lobs it in, and Cramper, instead of backing up and catching the ball on a long hop, or at least going into catcher mode and knocking it down,
I don't know why
he tries to pick the ball when there's not a play at second base, and it scoots by him. Alejo's got his head up, and that's a pretty 90 feet on a very sloppy play by the Tigers.
Yeah, that was garbage play right there. I mean, I don't know why. It's going to be a fly ball.
Drive, deep left center field.
Deep left center field.
Into the gap.
And a diving catch! Dugas gets the first out.
LSU gets out, and both guys are banged.
Nice little play by Dugas.
Wow.
This thing's not. Their game casts. I don't know what's going on with this game cast. I don't know why is it not coming in right. Let's see if I can pull another one up. I don't know why that game cast is just absolutely not running properly.
Making his 52nd start this season. Collided with Bianco, and we'll wait and see the replay on where exactly he got hit and how.
There it is. I'm going to pull their game cast up. So once again, we're having a little issues with the LSU game cast. I will put the a new game cast in, so I'm going to switch it over to the LSU game cast. So once again, we apologize. We're having a little issues. So once again, top of the fifth, 1-0. So that's in the I don't know why these game casts are not working properly.
The person that they're running into, but that was 2 players.
I don't know why it's not working properly.
Right, going after that baseball.
I don't know what's going on.
And Bianco is not a small guy. He was a fullback in high school, and he started this game at second base, 6 feet even, 200.
So once again, we're in the bottom of the fifth. Score is still 1-0. We're having a little problem with our game cast screens. I mean, we're having a little issues. We're trying to get these situations rectified. Hopefully, we can get them rectified and reset, because they're not giving me the proper information. So Gavin Dugas, hopefully he's okay. He had a nice little catch out in center field. So the out is one out in the inning. So bottom of the fifth, so we got it up.
I'm anxious to see where the bodies collided.
Yeah, these 2 guys, look, these 2 guys made a nice catch. They made an excellent catch. That was an excellent catch. Dugas was hurt on the play. Dean Bianco made a nice little catch. So it was an excellent catch.
Drew Bianco, and he said it.
No, excuse me, Drew Bianco.
He said he's our second best center fielder. And that play right there, Tommy, is as good a play as any center fielder in America could make.
I don't disagree with you.
That was spectacular.
Look at it. It looks like Dugas going to try and stay in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Corey Couture, the senior associate athletic trainer, wasted no time getting out there. Watch Bianco's leg as he makes the dive, and the leg kicks up and catches Dugas right in the
Let's
ribs.
see.
I believe it's his right leg.
Yeah.
And that is incredible.
That was something right there.
Left leg.
Good catch by
Yeah, it's
Drew Bianco. Gavin Dugas looks like he's going to the bench. So bottom of the fifth, the score is
try to stay in there.
still
There's not a rib injury.
1-0.
I mean, as hard as he got hit.
So
that's like being-
Frizzle comes up here for the Aggies. Now we got the screens working, so the GameCast is working. So you'll see the balls and
As much as
strikes.
teams work on fly ball communication and they work on plays that are in between balls, there are certain balls that are hit where it is so directly in between both players that neither player can call for it, and both players are so laser focused on trying to make the play that you see situations like this pop up every once in a while. It's not all that common, but certainly can present themselves on either balls that are in between an outfielder and infielder or directly between the outfielders. And that was just one of those where both guys were full tilt wide open trying to make a play. We just hope Dugas is all right.
All right, so
Fortunately, he's up on his feet moving around.
let's review where LSU is right now.
They
not
just
just
fixed
this
it,
game,
so
but the grand scope of things. Their magic
Make
number
sure,
is one to make it.
yeah, the backup,
realistically, to get
we'll
into
have
the
a backup
NCAA tournament,
just in
they
case.
got to win this
So
series.
we'll switch
if
it to
not
the
sweep, and do some damage.
We'll have the backup.
But
So
here in
apologize
game
once
number
again. We had a little
in
issues.
the
So
fifth inning, they've lost their starting center fielder. They lost their starting.
okay, we're back on. So once again, fly out to left field.
Not an ideal start.
Fly out to center field. Dugas looks like he's going to the so hopefully he's okay. Dean Bianco made a great catch.
As far as the here and now, they're just down 1-0. But man, there has been a price paid here. You lose your center fielder, left fielder, and starting pitcher, and of course we don't have the details to what extent the Giacomo and Marceau.
That's going to bring the count to 1-0.
Not been a pretty first 5 innings to this one for the Tigers.
Brody Drost.
So Drost is in for Dugas. So Drost is in left field for Dugas. So Dugas and
LSU team that is just 6
Dean,
and 7
Drew Bianco
games.
collided. That pitch is going to be in there for
Like the
a
game
strike.
worse than Texas A&M in that category. And it figures to be some close ones. Drost sees some action. Ball and a strike to Will Frizzell. He's seen his first strike of the night. We'll see if David Coleman has a
Pitch coming up here.
for Frizzell that Marceau did.
It's going to be fouled away.
And he's pitching to him.
Frizzell.
Nice play made down the first base
So
line.
Will Frizzell comes up. He had 2 walks tonight.
Drost, by the way, hasn't started a game in the outfield since April 2nd. So they got Cranford and Drost playing in a really
Pitch.
important game. Runner goes.
Runner goes to third. He's safe.
And Alejo picks up the stolen base.
So Alejo gets the stolen base.
Love it, man. Love it. Ray Alejo just playing with the gas.
So Alejo gets the stolen base.
Really good jump.
So that was a pretty good jump right there.
Right there. Throws that ball right on the base, but just too good a jump by Alejo. And boy, Doty better watch out putting his leg in front of the base like that, especially to a base stealer sliding in feet first.
2-2 to Frizzell. Here's your pitch.
Frizzell the 2-2.
Ground
Down to
ball.
the right side.
And it will get the
Morgan.
first
He
in
is so
time. So
good
it's be 2 gone.
defensively. 2 down.
So 2 down for the
You've been impressed with Trey Morgan's exploits defensively this season?
yeah, I don't think the league's seen anybody like him since Evan White. And if the viewer doesn't know who Evan White is, Evan White was the first baseman for the University of Kentucky, first-round draft pick by the Seattle Mariners, and last year was the Gold Glove winner in his rookie season in the American League. So that's pretty high praise, and I say
Gonna be
that
fouled
intentionally
off?
because Trey Morgan has literally
I don't know why.
changed
they
the
changed
game
the
for the
feed.
Tigers on more than one occasion. If you talk to Paul Maneri, especially the first month to 6 weeks of the season, he felt like he was saving this young infield a couple errors a game.
That's gonna be in the dirt. I don't know why
Their defense could use the help.
loaded. I don't know why.
Bush is 0 for 2.
Showing the next batter. They're showing the same. It's gonna be
Both sends one down the line.
foul. So that's gonna be foul. The count's 1-2.
Just for the LSU fans who made the trip in for the weekend.
The Tigers still travel.
No doubt.
Yeah, I'm glad to see the LSU fans out in the left field bleachers. I'm glad to see them.
Ball and 2 strikes to Bose.
So Bose comes up. Here's your pitch.
There's always high
Ground
entry
ball.
program. There's always some
Throw
dropbacks.
to first in time.
Hayes, I am Pilgrim.
So that
It
ends
is
the
a
inning.
thriller at every turn.
Okay, let's
And
give you the
trying to turn
plays.
the page to a
Okay,
win.
after the end of
Ahead leads 1-0 through
5, so no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left on base.
2, 3.
So once again, your score is 1-0 LSU down. So the batters are coming up. Let's give you the lineups. Okay, batters are coming up for LSU. Milazzo. So Milazzo comes up in the top of the 6th. So Milazzo comes up. So the 9 order will go in effect. So here the bottom of the 5th. Your score is 1-0. So we're going to the 6th. Okay, let's give you an update of some college baseball. Let's go ahead and give you the in-game updates. I'm going to go ahead and give you those. We'll wait for ESPNU feed to return. Okay, game coverage. Once again, Kansas State on top 3-2. Ole Miss scored 1 run, so it's 1-0. Louisiana Tech out in Ruston tied up at 3. Florida and Arkansas tied up at 1. Tennessee on top 7-2. West Virginia still on top 3-2. It's against Texas, and also Texas Tech on top 3-0. That game is going on in the top of inning number 3. So that is your updates. Okay, let's give you a baseball update. Marlins on top 3-0. Twins on top 5-3. Braves on top 3-2. Boston Red Sox on top 1-0. So those games are going on as we speak. We'll get back to LSU baseball. Your score is once again 1-0. Dustin,
But he can change the shape of that.
Sand Edge, pitch is going to be in there for a strike.
This inning with a
That's going to be
fastball away from
Milazzo coming up here in the
Man, has he been razor sharp in this one.
here in the top of the 6th. Pitch. Fouled off.
Fouled off, 0-2.
So 0-2 is your count on Milazzo.
Jack Leiter threw a no-hitter earlier this season for Vandy. Mississippi State got a combined no-no. Very similar to what
Milazzo
you see at
0
the
for 1.
major
Here's your
level. At
pitch.
the college level,
That's going
It's
to be
also
in there
been
for ball.
a season of pitching dominance. The
1,
batting
1-2
average
is your
as
count.
low as it's been since aluminum bats were introduced in 1974. The catcher Milazzo flew out to right field his last time out there.
And that pitch going to be in there
Signs
for a
misses
ball.
upstairs with
1-2 is
94.
your count.
Well, yeah, I think you're seeing some of the modern day major league trends trickle down to
So the
college
count
baseball.
is even at
There's
2.
just such an incredible
2-2.
ability right now.
And a
Pitchers
swing
to-
and a foul ball.
Number one, train for
That's still,
velocity.
2-2.
Number two, to design pitches that best suit their arm action and their ability and feel to manipulate the baseball, that, strikeouts are up, batting averages are down. However, runs really haven't
Pitch
changed
coming
all
up.
that much. And so
That's going to be in the
the
dirt.
runs are coming in
So that's going to bring the count to
different ways,
3-2
but offenses are
to
still
Alex
figuring out
Milazzo.
a way to put points on the board.
Full count now to Milazzo. He walked Dylan Cruz in the fourth on 4 pitches, then hit Gavin Dugas in the foot with a pitch.
Pitch coming up
Pitches in
here.
That plate appearance.
Fouled off.
Fouled off.
So Milazzo keeps the count going 3-2.
What do you got?
Gators and Hogs are tied up at 1 apiece. Mississippi State, Bama 1 apiece. Ole Miss up on Georgia 1-0. Tennessee up.
So we just went over the
7-2.
scores.
6-5.
We'll go over the Tulane scores once again at the end of
Auburn up 3-0
at the bottom of the 6th inning. We'll go over
Navy
the
up
Tulane
2-0
score.
Kentucky.
The throw, the first in time. Milazzo is out.
Next week.
So that's going to be one gone.
Sponsor for your out-of-town school.
Next batter is Morgan coming up here in the
Brought to you by the video game Frogger.
top of the 6th. So Morgan comes up.
We also have
Morgan's 0 for 2 tonight.
the Aggie that used to wear his
So he has
rib as a necklace, and I am
no
embarrassed.
walks tonight.
Totally
So he's
missed on
hitting
this one, but I've
366.
been with him since Gabe Bach first flew us in. It is our old friend Boomer White. It was Boomer, SEC Player of the Year.
Pitch coming up.
Said he still has.
That's going to be in there for a strike. So that's going to bring the count to 0-1 to Trey Morgan.
Here's Trey Morgan.
Trey Morgan's
Only seen a handful of
0
pitches
for 2,
tonight.
not a good night for him.
Groundouts.
Here's your pitch. Fouled off.
And he's aggressive again.
So that's going to bring the count to 0-2. So it's in the 0-2 hole.
Out of brother Martin. Stan played college football at Morris Brown in Atlanta. Had him working early as a 4-year-old. His dad was throwing short hops from shortstop over to first. He had good reasoning. He said, if you want to play and see action, 85% of balls go to first base.
That pitch is going to be
and especially being left
outside, so it brings the count to 1-2.
How about what do you got on the Jays there, Tommy?
Trey Morgan coming up here.
Were cleaner,
Yes,
but then again, he had a Nike contract.
Here's your pitch.
exactly. I don't think Trey has
Swing and a miss, so he ends up getting struck out. So Trey Morgan goes down on strikes. Dylan Cruz comes up here in the 2 outs in the inning. Dylan Cruz comes up here in the top of inning number 6 for us. Still 1-0 Texas A&M.
Strikes and Signs just throws the fastball right by him as he continues to be on cruise control.
2 down. Here's Dylan Cruz.
Dylan Cruz comes up.
Pitches last time up.
It's going to be a fly ball to left field, and that is going to go! Bye-bye! Home run! Tigers tied the game at 1 on a solo homer by Dylan Cruz to left field. So I'm glad to see him get that home run.
Well, this is a little different.
So a nice little home run by Dylan Cruz.
At this point, Justin Signs had been on
To left field.
Dylan Cruz certainly controlled the barrel on this one, and this is a rocket, a fastball right down Broadway, and a rocket off the left center field scoreboard. And look,
He just popped it. He just literally popped it.
That is
So
a kid who
that's the left field.
get his swing
Right off the
fastball
scoreboard.
on the heater and being accurate with the barrel, and that was a no-doubter from the second he left his bat.
Gross comes up here in the top of the 6th, so the pitch is going to be 1-0.
Started with George A. Smith against the Longhorns in 1907, and most recently Kyle Simons against Vanderbilt
Pitch.
in 2006.
That's going to be in there for ball 2.
Who have thrown no hitters all time.
And the catcher goes out to talk to his pitcher.
How do you think they celebrated George
New
Smith's
subscriber,
no-hitter in
Mike the Tiger.
1907?
Thanks. Once again, Mike the Tiger, thanks for following us. We appreciate it. We will be doing LSU football this year as well, also baseball. So we'll be doing that.
It's an elimination game for the 8th.
So playing tournament will be continue Friday with Memphis State taking on Colin State. I'm getting.
Countdown starting our coverage at 8 Eastern.
And the Lakers will take on Phoenix. That will be
You were on
later
the
on
edge
in the
of
week.
your couch watching that game last night. LeBron was seeing 3 rims, or so he
I could
says.
not.
Steph laughed, waved them off.
I couldn't.
So the pitch is going to be
That
3-0
game was that felt
on
like
Brody
a
Drodes.
playoff.
Let's see if Drodes can kind of
NBA finals
get some
game,
runs
the way
here.
both those teams
And that
played.
pitch is going to be in there, so it's a good eye.
Much sharper than the
Still
Lakers,
3-1.
the Lakers, as they
So
tend to
it's,
do.
3-1 should count. So he took that strike.
Figured out a way
3-1
to
is
get
your
it done down
count.
the stretch, but I think both those teams have a lot of life in them in the postseason. I know the
Pitch.
Jazz and the Suns are probably
Fouled
not
off.
excited about the
So that count is going to bring it to
potentially
3
being
and
the 7,
2
8 seed. Not trying to
3
catch
and 2 is your count
yet, but
on
something tells
Brody
me
Drodes here in the
Brody Drodes
top
goes
half
for
of the
his left
6th. We
side.
got to start getting our bats going because I'm going to tell you, Texas A&M is just an absolute juggernaut. When they pitching is good, their offense is going to get very consistent.
And 2 hits against
And that's
Grand
gonna be a
Lake back on April
pop-up
27. Skies. This
towards
is
the,
plate. Honer has plenty of space. And he'll take
First base side, and it's going to be caught.
Finish the inning.
And that inning is over.
Cruz
But the Tigers put on 1 run. So that's 1 run on 1 hit. No errors, no men left on base. So we entered the bottom of the 6th. Your score is 1-1. So your lineup for Texas A&M will be like this. Centauri comes up for here in the bottom half of inning number 6. So score is 1-1. So 1-1 is your score. Here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Thanks for joining us here. I appreciate you coming in, listening to our broadcast. Look, we can't, like I said, we do the best we can for our viewers. So let's give you an NBA scoreboard update. I'm going to go ahead and give you an NBA scoreboard update. So we'll see if we can give you the NBA games going on. That is so I'm going to put this inside the screen. Thanks for giving me the subscription. Appreciate it. Also, if you want to subscribe, please subscribe to us on the YouTube channel. It is 50 to 34 Wizards on top. So that game's going on in the second quarter. 50 to 34. That is a playing game tonight. So 50 to 34. That is going on as we speak. So thanks for joining us. So let's give you a Major League Baseball scoreboard update. So Major League Baseball scoreboard. Marlins on top 3-0. Pirates down 3-2. Twins on top 5-3. And also the Red Sox on top 5-3, top of inning number 4. So that's top of inning number 4. So that is in tonight's game. We'll get back to LSU baseball coverage. Score is still 1-1. Appreciate you joining us tonight here on this Thursday night, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We will be back here again, hopefully on Friday. Determines how I feel.
3 starters to this point.
Going through a surgery tomorrow, so it depends on how I feel. If I come back, I feel good. I will be live for LSU baseball. So if I'm not, I will give you a recap on Saturday doing sports talk. Okay, pitch.
0-2 to Sartori.
That's going to be outside. So that pitch is going to be 1-2. So more so, David Coleman right now, look, his pitch is going to have to get going. He's got a 1-2 count. He needs to start not throw those low balls that goes to the ground.
Berkey, I mean, thing is, if LSU is going to have some success and making it an NCAA tournament, it's going to have to be, Gibbs rule. Always work as a team. They're going to need
swing, pop, fly was
damage in Hoover. And
center field, and that's going to be caught.
There. Sartori flies out.
Sartori flies out, 1 gone.
You think that LSU magic just transfers from one roster to another, or is this much younger LSU team prepared to do damage in Hoover?
I think they will do damage in Hoover.
Based on the way they
Mark, you can make no mistake about it. They will do some legitimate damage.
However, you know, as much success as they've
I mean, and try to get into the tournament.
in that
Their chances of hosting, I don't think they're going to host this year. I think they're going to be going to regional.
Quite the same field.
So that's probably my pick for LSU.
Dr. Giacomo.
I hope they get the regional, but it might not happen. I don't think it's going to happen this year. So pitch. That's going to be in there for a
Taylor Smith looks at a strike.
strike. So that's going to be 0. So Taylor Smith comes up. He's 0 for 2 for Taylor for the A&M Aggies.
Bottom of the 5th in Fayetteville, Arkansas leads Florida.
Pitch.
2-1. That's a top 10 matchup.
That should be a strike. Strike 3 call. And David Cohen gets a strikeout here in the bottom of inning number 6. Scores still 1-1. So Smith strikes out.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting. Obviously, going toe-to-toe with Tennessee and then Mississippi State also chasing, but having won that series in Knoxville.
Okay, next batter coming up
last weekend. It certainly seems
here's the pitch. That's going to be in the dirt. Ball 1.
It is, and you talk about
that is going to be.
They had a rough one, but they just keep answering the bell.
Pitch. That's going to be
low
and inside. That's going to be 2-0.
You like a metronome, you know.
So the next batter up is
when you're a kid.
Holzer. It's a pitch. Ground ball.
I mean, if it does,
and a throw all the way to first.
Pittsburgh is not interested.
And that's going to be in time.
Handles that one from Jordan Thompson. It's a 1-2-3 frame work by Coleman. We're going to buy Berkey an encyclopedia.
Okay, once again, bottom of inning number 6, your score once again is 1-1. So 1-1. We don't have the score play-by-play updates on the screen. So we'll have to go by those the 1, 2, 3 innings. So score is still 1-1. Let's see if I can pull switch this in. Okay, yep. So still not working right. I don't know what's going on with the LSU. Okay, bottom. So it looks like not working. So bottom of and top of the 7th scores 1-1. So let's give you an update on games going on in college baseball. I'm going to give you an update on some college baseball scores. Once again, I'm going over to the college baseball side. Okay, college baseball scores. Let's give you an update on Louisiana Tech on top 5-3. That's in the bottom of the 4th. So Tech scored. Arkansas on top 2-1. South Carolina down 7-2. Ole Miss on top 1-0. Kansas State in the bottom of the 5th on top 4-2. And Vanderbilt on top 2-0. That's in the top of the 5th. Texas still down 3-2. That's in the bottom of the 3rd. Let's see if that's so. We'll have the audio back up.
Yeah, Jordan Thompson loads up and rips it.
We have to depend on the audio because it's the game casts are not working properly. So we're trying to make sure these game casts are working in proper manner.
Tell me if you'd like to catch a 4-seam fastball coming across the
I really don't
staring into that.
like.
I've always thought.
Okay, top of the 7th inning.
Freddie Freeman up close for a long time.
So the lineup, we'll give you the lineup. Okay, that pitch is going to be in there for a strike. That's going to be Doherty coming up here in the bottom of top of inning number 7. Still 1-1. So Doherty comes up.
Keegan Bradley, I would bet. Probably so.
And the pitch, ground ball to the shortstop, to throw to first. And in time
Another
to get
fantastic
Doherty. So one gone.
Eli Harrison has had a number of opportunities in this game, and that's the first one that he didn't quite finish with a rock-solid throw, but that's what your teammates are for right there. Will Frizzell handling a short hop kind of right at the
That was
front
a
of
pretty
the
good
grass.
short hop. He got it to his first baseman,
He did
so
a nice job of
that was a
getting
good
the glove down and finishing that one off for a big first out here in the seventh.
So pitch is in there for a strike.
To Zach Arnold.
Zach Arnold coming up here. So we don't have information on him. Game cancers are not working. So we'll have to
Arnold
here's the pitch. That's going to be in there for ball 1. 1-1 is your count on Zach Arnold. 0 for 2. Pitch in there for
There are
ball, so that count's going to make the count 2-1 on Zach Arnold.
Most teams, the shortstop leads the team in errors because there are so many tough chances, right? So when you're having a day like Eli Harrison,
I don't know why they're
and all
not
of a
working
sudden,
properly.
you bounce one, and your first baseman picks you up.
And that
not doing
pitch.
your perfect day.
It's going to be a
You
fly
can
ball
over there, give him a big hug.
over to right center field, and that's going to be caught.
Hugs are loud. 2 up, 2 down.
So 2 down in the inning.
Bianco to the plate. If you miss it, Drew Bianco had one of the best defensive plays you'll ever see by a center fielder. Especially not bad for a guy who.
Yeah, it was a good play.
Yeah, there are
One of those players got hurt. That was got him do guys.
They
So
do fine, but every once in a while you get a guy that you run
pitch is
Ryan
for Drew Bianco, and that's going to be a strike. So 0-1 to Drew Bianco.
As an infielder, and Drew Bianco is not just somebody they run out there and ask him to make the routine play. He is
And the
somebody who can
pitch.
make the special play. And boy, was that some kind of special.
That's going to be in there for ball 1 on 1 is your count.
His guys staying connected. Drew Bianco.
I don't know why this game cast is not working properly.
LSU went to Oxford.
It's going to be ground ball,
Second base.
and that throw
Ball.
is in time.
Bianco, without a hit tonight. Only one hit allowed by Dustin Simons, but that one hit cleared the fence. We're tied at 1 as we stretch.
So we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. 1-1 LSU and Texas A&M. So once again, we don't have any information on those innings, so we apologize. So the game casters are not giving us, are not cooperating. So once again, we're going to give you those numbers. Okay, no runs, no hits. We just got them in. No errors, no men left on base. Doherty grounded out, Arnold flied out, and Bianco grounded out. So that was in the top of the 7th. We're entering the bottom of the 7th. Their batters are going to be Bloom. He's 1 for 2. So that's in. So Coleman's still in his 2 innings of work. He has 1 hit given up. He struck out 1 batter. So that's in the top of. We're in the bottom of inning number 7. Score is still 1-1. So. Okay, we'll give you some college baseball scores. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a college baseball update. So I'm going to put those scores into the screens. You'll see them. We'll give you game updates on different games. If you're okay, let's give you an update on the Southland. If we have a Southland games going on tonight. Okay, Southland baseball tonight. Lamar won 7-0 in 7 innings. In the bottom of the 8th, they lead 13-4. Stephen F. Austin down 9-2 against Abilene Christian. Southeastern on top 5-0. That's in the top of the 8th. UNO on top of Oklahoma State 5-1. So that is looks like a monumental upset. Central Arkansas on top 3-0. Other games postponed. Nichols and Sam Houston and Northwestern State and Corpus Christi. So that is in college baseball tonight in the Southland Conference. Your score, we're in the bottom of the 7th. Score is We put the
we'll see what happens here.
game audio back on. Game audio is back on.
Florida down the stretch, but tell you what, Tommy, if
So pitch is going to be
wins
1-0,
this series with Arkansas, which they're losing,
and that pitch in there for ball 2.
they
So
can position
2-0. Colvin's
themselves
going to have to
be
start throwing strikes.
in the top 8.
Interesting. I'm anxious to see
Pitch.
the difference.
That pitch is
as
going to be
Grayson moves up to 7
in
between
the
Florida and
low.
South Carolina.
So that's going to bring the count 3-0.
Well, I'm specific to this weekend. Let's just
Sure.
say South Carolina losing 7-2. If let's just say
That
they
pitch
lose
is going to
that series,
give
South
them a
Carolina's
walk, so it's going to be a
they're not in the top 8, right? But if just
4-pitch walk here in the
hypothetical, if Florida was to
bottom
win
of the 7th.
series,
Runner at
finish
first.
19-11
Harrison comes up for
and beat Arkansas.
the Texas A&M
The
Aggies.
SEC is usually a pretty good recipe to be a top 8. You know Arkansas is not going anywhere there for sure. So
So you hear your fans, the crowd mics on. You'll hear the fans cheering and stuff like that in the background during this broadcast. You'll hear LSU fans. You'll also hear Texas A&M fans. Pitch. That's going to be a bunt. And that's going to be a foul.
Goodness gracious. Malazzo's had a tough couple of days. Got hit in the exact same spot with a foul.
He got hit in the. Hopefully he's okay in the groin. So hopefully he's okay. We don't want to see nobody getting hurt like that. That's just absolutely. So Malazzo is injured. Hopefully he's okay. So they're probably most likely going to have to if he stays in the game. He's one tough cookie.
Tomorrow through the weekend, the PGA Championship second round is on ESPN with early morning ESPN Plus coverage. The NBA playoffs.
Because also NBA playoffs just begins this Saturday. So it's going to be Celtics and Nets.
Between Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylor. Saturday night on ESPN and Sunday morning on ESPN. The Monaco Grand Prix jump starts the day. Now that is a lineup. We're talking about the PGA Championship. It was Bubba Watson rocking the fours on the course today.
Bubba. Okay. Nobody's beat the Nets, by the way, in the East, but good luck to the rest of the gang for trying.
I'm going to be honest with you. That's going to be a very good series between Boston and Brooklyn.
Probably still put the Lakers as the favorite.
So it looks like Malazzo. Let's see if Malazzo
here's
trying to see if he can walk it off.
Squad. Not only is Malazzo the starting catcher, but Hayden Trubinsky, who had shared time back there, had Tommy John surgery a couple weeks ago. Jake Wyeth is
so it looks like Coach Minari has confidence in him.
And
so he's going to stay in the game.
Finished the midweek game after Wyeth.
I mean, I feel for the young man. I feel for Alex Malazzo. I really do. I mean, the young man, look, he's been through a hell of a week. So, once again, 0-1 is your count to Harrison for Texas A&M.
Had her senior season cut short at Punahou High School in Hawaii.
And Coleman back in.
His dad, Kenny, was All-American at Hawaii, went on to play pro ball in the Pirates organization.
And looks like it's going to be a bunt situation.
Played soccer at Colorado.
He pulls it back, and that's going to be a strike. So it's
0-2
is your count.
Great Oregon State
on
team.
Harrison.
Nationals organization. Punahou High School has had incredible athletes. Michelle Wee, Norm Chow, a couple of them. They had a guy that played basketball years ago, won a state championship by the name of Barack Obama. He turned out pretty well.
Yeah. Okay, pitch coming up for Harrison.
Yeah, they had a couple things.
So Coleman winds. The delivery coming up. Here's the bunt, and he pops up the bunt.
And it falls
foul
in foul territory.
So it's going to be foul.
Boy, that's the missed opportunity there by Harrison. He fouls the first one off, which was a strike. The second one's right down the middle, and he takes it. And then on an 0-2 count, you can see the coaching staff just kind of digging their heels in and say, no, you're going to get this thing down. And then he chases.
Yeah, you got to get it down.
So,
the third. or either
Big
first.
missed opportunity right there by the
Can't pop it up because that's going to be translate into an out.
Hey, by the way, speaking of presidents in baseball, tonight in Stillwater at O'Brate Stadium, George W. Bush threw out the first pitch. How about that?
I saw that. That's pretty neat deal. And what a stadium they have there in Stillwater.
UNO's playing there, so UNO leads 5-1
We have the college
against
baseball
Oklahoma State. So UNO playing there this weekend.
Donated 35 of the 60 million.
UNO Privateers. So 1-0 is your count.
President Bush that got him to the
Ohio.
In my book,
The
best first pitch.
Here's your
in
pitch.
baseball history.
Swing and a miss. So that's going to bring the count to 1-1.
So warming up with Jeter underneath the stands at Yankee Stadium, and he said, "Mr. President, you are going to the rubber, right?"
So we're going to call this game. I know they have a lot of talking and stuff like that. We're going to call it as well. Pitch. So that count's going to go to 2-1.
Be there in 2001 at the
On Ray,
George W. Bush threw out the first pitch
Hale.
in Omaha to start that College World Series. I'll never forget, as he was walking out of the room, there was two of us from each team that got to meet him. As he was walking out of the room, he said, "Boys,
Pitch coming up.
It was my split."
Going to be a pop fly towards the
Morgan at the fence.
first baseline, and that's going to go foul. And the count still remains 2-2. Young man got a baseball, so congratulations to that young man.
And chatted with all of us, and then just left us with that little joke on the way out. Dropped the mic and rode out there and ripped the strike like he normally does.
Alejo comes up. Here's your pitch to Alejo on 2-2.
2-2 pitch.
You're hearing the train, so it's a strike, 3 call. So Alejo goes down on strikes. Thompson comes up here in the top of bottom of inning number 7.
I think George W. has to be high on my roster. I haven't seen a ton of
presidents. Got plays in.
Too much better than.
Pitch.
Would we put William Howard Taft on that list just because?
And that pitch is going to be in there for ball. So Thompson coming up here in the bottom of the 7th, 2 outs in the inning.
He did multiple times.
Runner at first.
Took the mountain of jeans at the
1-0 is the count. Colvin is line and delivery. Foul back to the backstop. So that brings the count to 1-1.
You remember the jeans? Yeah. Buddy of mine was on his Secret Service detail. I said, "How was the first pitch?" He said, "Well, we made it back to D.C. and played inside." Thompson is 0 for 3.
So Thompson 0 for 3 tonight. Here's the
William Howard
pitch.
Taft started the tradition April 14th, 1910, through the first pitch to Walter Johnson from the stand.
And it's going to be fouled off again.
The big train, Walter Johnson.
So the count's going to be 1-2.
President to the big
On
train.
Thompson.
Taft was, tipped the scales at 3 bills, so no need to go out in the field. We'll just do it from the stands.
Pitch.
1-2.
Swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss on a breaking ball.
Goes down on strike. So Thompson goes down.
He's been magnificent.
The inning is over. So in the inning, let's give you those inning numbers. 1 run, no hits. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 man left on base. The inning began with a walk. Also, 3 consecutive strikeouts by the LSU pitcher. So let's give you the numbers on Coleman. I'm going to go ahead and give you those numbers right now. So I'm going to give you the numbers. Go to the business stats screen. Okay, Coleman, 3 innings of work, He has 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. He faced 18 batters in a game. He had total pitch 34s. 23 was for strikes for Javen Coleman. So that's in the bottom of the 7th. We're going to the 8th inning. Your score is 1-1. LSU on top. LSU, I'll be honest with you, have to get those at bats going because their at bats are going to expire. So they're going to have to start getting those bats going in the 8th inning because you got one more inning. You got this inning, and you got the top of the 9th. You have to start get going. If it goes to a 2-1 game, so be it. Okay, once again, let's go ahead and give you an update on some other games going on in college baseball. So we're going to give you go back to the SEC screen, and I'll give you an update on those SEC games going on. Okay, SEC games going on. Mississippi State in the bottom of the 7th on top 4-2 against Alabama. Arkansas on top 3-1. Tennessee on top 7-2 against South Carolina. That's in the top of the 7th. Ole Miss on top 2-0. Vanderbilt even at 2. Auburn fly ball to center field, and that is going to be
Hit the first.
caught. So the first out of the inning for LSU. So the inning is Cranford is retired.
This season,
So that's in the
prominent.
top of the 8th.
24.
So Auburn on top 4-0 against Missouri.
To do that.
So that's
When
your
Dylan
scores
Cruz connected
from
for
the
first and a no-doubt
SEC.
home run in the 6th. Since that, Zion's back on track and has retired 5 straight.
Okay, Thompson coming up here in the top of inning number 8. Here's your pitch.
Here's Jordan Thompson.
And that ball is going to be low in the dirt, so it brings the count to 1-0. So good eye for Thompson.
ACC update.
So we'll give you an American Conference update at the bottom of the 8th. That's going to be a foul ball.
Pitt.
So when the commercial breaks, we'll give you an update on those American Conference games.
Yeah, no, that's. You knew we were going to run into it, Tommy. You do that release as early as they chose to do it, which I don't know why they held themselves to that deadline. There was no real reason for it at this point, especially with so many of the mandates lightning around the country, and now you end up with a team like Pitt, who, I'll tell you what, Tommy, they lose that series.
That's going to be a ground ball in the left field for a base hit. Thompson gets on the first. Milazzo comes up here. 0 for 2 for him.
On the bubble. I want to point this out, though. Talking with folks in.
Look, they're going to have a lot of teams that's going to be buying for that NCAA regional.
Going to be necessary.
I mean, these are this is going to be your last weekend for conference championship and also chances to get into the regional before the tournaments begin, because those tournaments will begin next week in earnest. SEC will begin on the 25th, so we will have coverage of SEC coverage LSU side, and that pitch is going to be low. That was a bunt situation.
An impact is you're going to have a
for Milazzo, 1-0
out there, and whenever you get into seeding situations where there's an imbalance, it hurts not only the teams in that bracket, but the team in the bracket that you could then face down the road. Remember when Kentucky was misseeded in the NCAA tournament and they had a great Wichita State team? That wasn't fair to Wichita State, but Kentucky was underseeded.
No, there's definitely.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people that's going to be very upset.
Just
that's not going to get into the tournament, but that's it is what it is. The bunt goes down to the third base side. The throw is in time. The runner will go to second. So that's Thompson going to second. So So that's a
Right.
sack
So
punt for
maybe they could extend it.
Malazzo.
Maybe they could broaden the horizons with the number of teams they pick. I'm glad they at least did 20, so there does leave some drama. But it was a certainty you were going to make some mistakes, right? If you only pick 20.
Well, yeah, that's why you cast a wider net. And Trey Morgan to the plate now to sacrifice him up on Malazzo. I thought what they could have done.
Okay, next batter up, Morgan.
Held a spot for a couple specific leads.
Morgan 0 for 3, not a good night for him. He struck out once.
One of those three Conference USA
Here's
teams
your pitch.
is going to hose, and they're going to knock each other off down the road or whatever it might be. The whole one for CSA.
Fouled off.
If the ACC is going to have
bring the
X
count
number
0-1
of
to
players, whether
Trey
that be
Morgan.
Pitt or someone else from that league, just put a placeholder there amongst, and that's how you can extend from 20 to 22, 20 to 24. More teams playing for that spot. And oh, by the way, that also.
I mean, it's probably going to be expanded in the near future. The NCAA tournament, the regionals.
Trey Morgan looking for his first hit tonight.
Because a lot of teams,
One ball, one strike.
like the Southland Conference, sometimes they probably get maybe 2 teams in or 1 team in. But the thing is, look, you got to give them an even playing field. The Southland Conference, because that's a small school conference. But that conference right there is one of the toughest conferences around. Just like the SEC, they're going to get maybe 10 or 11, and then it's going to be a fielding error on Texas A&M. So LSU has a golden opportunity here. Runners at first and third.
That'll certainly go as 8-5.
So Trey Morgan gets on the fielding error. So that was so he just kind of bagged that ball.
Kind of a do or die right there.
No throw to first.
It's certainly a manageable short hop. He comes up empty, and in a game that hasn't had a lot of run scoring opportunities, the Tigers find themselves here in the 8th.
So, like I said, runners at first and third, they have a great opportunity to get.
Cruz given first base.
So Cruz was intentionally walked, so Cruz will be walked.
Coming up.
So it's going to be a bases loaded situation, 2 outs in the inning. So once again, LSU has to execute in this situation with bases all loaded. Looks like they're calling a
number for the SEC tournament is 1. 1 LSU win gets them in, or 1 Auburn loss.
So it's going to be either 1 Auburn loss or 1 LSU win. It doesn't matter if it's tonight or maybe Friday night or Saturday night. LSU has to get 1 win or an Auburn loss if LSU loses. That pitch going to be in there for a strike, so that count's going to even up at 1-1.
Yeah, and you just got to believe here, Tommy, that they're going to go to that slide, right? And so with the go-ahead run at third base, this is where you're really leaning on your veteran catcher, Mikey Homer, to make sure that he keeps that thing in front of him.
That pitch is in there for a strike. So that's going to bring the count to 2-1. 1-2. 1-2.
You got to believe he's going to try to throw his best one right here. And you just got to be careful to keep this thing.
1-2 is your count. So the bats, hopefully the bats can just absolutely explode here in this inning. That pitch is going to be in the dirt. So that's going to bring the count to 2-2.
If you're Drost, now what are you thinking?
Well,
I would think I think it would be imperative that if he hits a line drive in the left field, that's going to bring in maybe 2 runs. That probably most likely will happen. That would be one of your scenarios right there. But if he hits a home run, it would be that's going to be a strikeout.
Throws him with the fastball.
So once again, the at-bats are just absolutely just not in order tonight.
Special
Strikeout for
Dustin Signs.
Brody Groats, and the inning is over.
He's all fired up. The Aggies get off the field.
Okay, once again, top of the eighth. One hit, no runs, one error, 3 men left on base. That's once again with the bases loaded. I'll be honest with you, that was a very rotten at bat for LSU. To be honest with you, I mean, you got to get those runs home. How hard is it to get those runs home when you're facing a good pitcher like Texas A&M has? They have some quality pitchers. So I'll be honest with you, LSU has one more chance, and that's going to be in the after this bottom of the eighth. So let's go ahead and give you an update on American Conference game scores. I'm going to give you American Conference baseball updates. So I'm going to give you an update on American Conference games going on in on this last weekend of college baseball regular season. So I'm going to give you those updates. Okay, in the American Conference, we'll give you the scores. Okay, Memphis loses 12-5. East Carolina wins 10-1 over South Florida. UCF wins 3-1. Cincinnati wins both games 10-8 and 10-6 and 11-8. East Carolina wins 5-2 in the second game. Houston loses the second game 2-1, and Memphis loses the second game as well 4-2. So American Conference is going to be very, very. That's going to be the conference that's going to wind up getting some teams in from the top tier. So once again, your score is 1-1, and Texas A&M is batting here in the top of bottom inning number 8. So let's give you those who's batting for Sal. So let's give you his pitch, and that's going to be a fly ball to
Deep left center
deep left center field, and that is going to be gone. So Frizzell goes yard. So home run for so it's 2-1. Texas A&M 1-1 here in the bottom of the eighth.
Home run number 19, one of the best power hitters in the nation.
So LSU
And you just had a feeling leading off the inning.
Frizzell put that ball. He just
is
absolutely just bombed it right there.
That baseball.
Just absolutely bombed it to left field.
Taco off the scoreboard, and after Dustin Signs gets him off the field out of a bases loaded jam,
It's going to be a pop fly in the infield. That's going to be caught.
Calls off Coleman.
So one down.
And there's one down as he handles it. They'll bring Sartori to the plate.
Sartori comes up here in the top of inning number bottom inning number 8. Excuse me, I keep saying top. Bottom.
Let's go back to this Landon Marceau situation. He threw 4 innings tonight, threw 60 pitches. Would it make sense to you that they would hold him for the SEC tournament on Tuesday?
Well, that would. If that was the plan, then that obviously seems to be the.
They should have kept him for the SEC tournament. LSU's got some pitchers.
You got your ace out there.
Because I know they're playing the last game against Texas A&M. This is the last weekend of the regular season for LSU. So hopefully, like I said, the pitching can get a little bit.
Totally healthy, and
it's a little bit
absolutely
on a turbulent side. So
day one in Hoover. But, going back to Marceau, as we see Paul Maneri.
So 2-0 as you count.
Discussing the fact that the other team's best player just put the Aggies on top. And what did we see from Marceau?
So it looks like the ball's going to be in the dirt, so that's going to bring the count to 3-0
Marceau, he didn't even
to Santora.
Right. I think the question is to the value of this game versus the value on Tuesday in Hoover, which you're not there yet. Right, LSU is not yet qualified for the SEC tournament. Is it a win?
It's going to be a strike, so the count goes up to 3-1
there is value
to Santori.
On the other side of the coin, I could argue that every game matters for LSU. This
Ground
weekend,
ball.
next week altogether.
That throw's going to be long throw. Safe.
And Sartori,
So it's going to be a base hit.
Do you see
So
that?
base hit for
I just explained.
Centaur.
No, I would. No, I think the games in front of you are the most important games when you're
Like this game tonight, Texas A&M. Look, if you win one game, you're in. You also have to, if you lose, Auburn has to lose the game. So that's something right there. LSU has to shoot for.
And we talked with Paul Maneri yesterday. That was not part of the discussion. That was not brought up on our call with him. Here's Taylor Smith, who is 0 for 3.
So Taylor Smith comes up 0 for 3. Pitch. And the throw is way too high. And the stolen base by Centauri. So that's on a 1-0 pitch. So the runner will go to second on the stolen base.
Keep putting the gas pedal down here on the base pass. We've seen Alejo swipe a couple back.
Alejo's not a guy that
stolen base, a little vulture bag like we used to call him, and now Logan Sartori getting in the mix as Chad Kaye continues to be aggressive on the base pass tonight.
1-0 to Smith.
That's what you got to do. You got to steal those bases if you're going to win a game. That pitch is going to be up and away. That's going to bring the count to 2-0.
Dalen Holt is the last Aggie to hit 20. That came in 1999. It was school record 34 that year. Only 3 Aggies have ever hit 20 home runs in a single season.
Wow.
Pitch. Looks like he's looking at him. Swing and a miss.
Tip of the cap, Historian gave
So that count goes to 2-1. One Smith.
Balls in a strike now to Smith.
2 balls on 1 strike.
That's surprising to me. Program the rich history of Texas A&M that only 3 guys have hit 20, but it certainly puts into context the kind of magical year Will Frizzell's having on a team where nobody else has double-digit home runs.
That pitch in there for a strike, so that count is even to 2-2.
LSU strained hamstring, the cause of Giovanni DiGiacomo to exit the
So Giovanni DiGiacomo has a hamstring injury.
That's a guy that's
We don't have an update on
LSU
Gavin Dugas as well, so no update on him. As
the confidence that DiGiacomo brings
so
to the starting pitcher, to any pitcher, when they know that he's out there to cover ground.
It's going to be fouled off.
Heads up.
Well, and not to mention the offense. I mean, as it comes into the game, hitting 320 with a couple homers and 15 ribbies in limited plate appearances. So, that's something that they're going to hope heals quickly. Fortunate to have a kid like Drew Bianco on the roster that can get out there and run them down in his stead.
Strike 3 call.
Coleman punches out Smith.
So Smith goes down on strike.
That's his 5th K in the
So
league.
2 outs in the inning.
He has been really, really good. Loving the ability, similar to Dustin Sines, loving the ability to pitch into right-handers. And the left-handed pitchers that tend to have the most success
Comment
are
section.
either guys with great changeups that can run down and away to right-handers, or the lefties that can throw that inside fastball, back foot slider combo. And Coleman has done a really good job of jamming that fastball under the hands of these right-handed hitters.
Pitch going to be ground ball
First pitch, perfectly played.
to the first baseman, and that is going to end the inning.
Has
But
the lead
Texas
there.
A&M scores on a solo homer by Will Frizzell. It scores once again 2-1. Here, let's give you their updates. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 1 man left on base. The inning began with Frizzell hitting a home run that was on an 0-1 pitch, and then they had a single, and also pop outs and ground outs, and also they had some base. Centaurus stole second, so it was in the bottom of the 8th. The score is still 2-1 here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Let's give you Doherty comes up here for LSU. So let's give you an update on some MLB baseball games going on tonight. We will switch from MLB baseball. So I'm going to give you an update on those games. Okay, on the scoreboard, once again, 6-0, top of the 7th. Marlins have once again a runner at first. Also in the bottom of the 6th, the Braves and Pirates scoreless. Minnesota on top 5-3. And also Boston and Toronto tied up at 5. That's going into the 6th. We will give an update on the NBA playing games. I'm going to give you that playing game updates as well. Okay, let me put that up on my screen. Okay, it is 84-64. Wizards on top. 84-64. That game's going on in the third quarter. So third quarter there. So we'll get back to LSU baseball here in the top of the 9th. The score is still 2-1. So Dustin Sassis, he had 8 innings of work, gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run, walked 2, struck out 8. The junior, so the new pitcher coming up is going to be Chandler Josh. Josh, that's J-O-Z, Josh Wink, that's W-I-A-K. He has a 2-3 losing record, ERA 2.98. So LSU has Doherty coming up here in the top of the 9th. Pop fly, foul ball 0-1. I'm going to give you his numbers. Okay, Doherty's plate appearance tonight. He had second inning. He was popped out. He also fired out and also grounded out. So that was Doherty's.
He swung and made contact with the first 6.
So 1-1 is your count on K. Doherty. So your score is still 2-1. Take Texas A&M on top.
For Rob Childress. Logan Britt is now in right field.
Pitch. That's going to almost hit him.
Coleman is at second base. What a win this would be for Texas A&M.
It's going to be foul ball.
A laser to take us 2-2.
So still 2-2 on
This night,
K. Doherty.
4 outs. This night is really shaping up nicely for you here to start the weekend. You got Auburn up 8-0 on Mizzou.
So, like I said, that's not good news for LSU. LSU needs a loss by Auburn, at least one,
series,
and LSU needs to at least win one
because the tie with Mizzou
to get into the SEC tournament.
They're out because they lost that series head to head.
3-2 to Doty from Chandler Joe's block.
Swing and a miss. So it's still going to be 3-2.
2-1, A&M with the lead. Aggies got a run in the third.
That's going to be ball 3-2. 3-2.
He would score on a misplayed ball at first base. Got a sacrifice bunt in that same inning. Then
pitch coming up here.
3-2.
Going to be high fly ball right field, and that's going to be caught. One gone.
Here's a reminder of what's on the line in the SEC this weekend. At the bottom of the standings, bottom 2 teams won't make it to Hoover. LSU needs to win 1 of 3 or have lose 1 of 3.
So that's what they have to do. Texas A&M definitely has to win the series to get in.
Win the series against Missouri.
Finish tied. So they're both ahead of Missouri and Auburn. Now Auburn has to win a series, and then Missouri has to win a series versus Auburn ahead of Texas A&M, so they would be one game ahead. That pitch is in there for a ball. To the count, it's going to be 1-0.
And they need actually Missouri to get 2 and 3.
Zach Arnold 0 for 3 tonight. Not a good night for Zach Arnold. That pitch is going to be in there for ball 2.
A Missouri sweep.
2-0. I'll be honest with you, look.
Is what would keep LSU out of it. Because any combination of LSU win or an
pop fly in the infield, and that's going to be caught.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 2 down. LSU down to the last outs.
By the way, we're only focused tonight on what's happening at the bottom of the standings. There is a race to win the SEC, and there's certainly even more exciting race to win the East. We'll have Tennessee at South Carolina in the season finale Saturday at noon. It's over on the SEC Network.
Pitch. Got a pop fly.
Popped up. Bianco got
and that's going to end the ball game right there.
Condor flies at 8:45, and that one's into the
So that game is over. Final score. Texas A&M wins 2-1. So once again, LSU is going to be in deep trouble. I mean, if they don't win this series this weekend, Missouri gets a sweep. I'm gonna tell you, their season would be over. They would not get into the SEC tournament. So your final score 2-1 is your final here on our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So we'll give you the winning pitchers. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you the winning pitchers. We'll give you the scoring plays, and we'll give you the box scores, and we'll go ahead and wrap this up. So final score 2-1. So we're waiting for the winning pitchers to come in. I'm trying to get them set up. So let's go ahead and give you the winning pitchers tonight. So your winning pitcher tonight, let's give you those. Okay, winning pitcher is Dustin Sages, 6-6. Save goes to Chandler Jock Winks, if I'm saying it right. He has his 8th save of the season. So final score 2-1. Losing pitcher goes to Jaden Coleman, 2-1. So let's give you the scoring again before we go to the box score. Okay, Texas A&M scored in the bottom of the third on a muff bunt play. So that was in the bottom of the third. LSU came back in the top of the 6th, scored a home run by Dylan Cruz to left field. And then Frizzell scored in the bottom of the 8th. That was on a home run to left field. So that was in tonight's game. So it's the only scoring by Texas A&M. Final score, quality pitching by Texas A&M pitchers. So hats off to them. Okay, let's go to the LSU box score. Okay, let's give you the box score on LSU hitters tonight. Tonight, not a good night. 29 at bats, just absolutely just wasted at bats tonight. Okay, Morgan went 0 for 4. Cruz went 1 for 2. Morgan went 0 for 1. Drost went 0 for 2. Doherty tonight went 0 for 4. The bats were absolutely just quiet. Arnold went 0 for 4. Bianco went 0 for 4. DiGiacomo, before his injury, went 0 for 1. Crawford Cranford, went 0 for 2. Thompson went 1 for 3. So the only hitter that stood out was Cruz and Thompson. Malazzo went 0 for 2 in the game, so that was 0 for 2. LSU used Marceau. Marceau had 4 innings of work. He gave up 3 hits, 1 run. He walked 3, struck out 1. So that was in 4 innings of work. Coleman also had 4 innings of work. He had given up 3 hits, 1 run. One of them was earned. He walked 1, struck out 5. His pitch count was at 49, 33 for strikes. So that was in tonight's game. And also Marshall had 60 pitches and 36 was for strikes. So that was in tonight's game. So once again, your final score, LSU loses 2-1. They will be playing tomorrow night, 6:30. Hopefully, if I'm okay. I know I'm going to be going through a little surgery tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll be okay. To give you the game tomorrow, I will be here. Hopefully, I will. So let's go ahead and give you the scores. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for watching our broadcast. Unfortunately, we couldn't give you the video because, once again, copyrights don't allow us to do it. So let's go ahead and give you the final college baseball game scores. Okay, American Conference, Tulane loses both games 10-8 and 10-6 and 11-8, 10-6 and 11-8. I don't want to go too fast. Wichita State loses 12-5. East Carolina wins 10-1. UCF wins both games 3-1, 2-1. Memphis loses the second game 4-2. East Carolina wins 5-2 over South Florida. So that was in tonight's game. Let's give you the top 25 games going on in top 25 college baseball. Okay, Florida State loses 6-4. Mississippi State loses 4-2. Notre Dame wins 8-2. Old Dominion and Louisiana Tech tied up at 7. That's in the bottom of the fifth. That's going on out in Ruston. In the bottom of the seventh, Arkansas leads 3-1. Tennessee leading 7-4. Ole Miss leading 2-0. Kansas State on top 4-2. Also, Kentucky and Vanderbilt tied up at 2. West Virginia and Texas. West Virginia on top 5-4. And also Texas Tech on top 3-0. That game is finals. So let's go ahead and give you the Southland scoreboard. And we will wrap it up. Okay, Southland baseball scores. Local games going on. UNO in the top of the sixth, leading 6-3. McNeese down 5-1 against Central Arkansas. In the top of the sixth, Abilene Christian on top 11-2. Lamar in the bottom of the ninth on top 13-4. Southeastern is on top 9-0. That game is in the bottom of the 8th. Let's see if it's going to the 9th. I'm going to check it. Yep, it is a final. 10-0. So it's 10-0. What's your final score? 10-0. So I'm going to give you that final score. Okay, 10-0. Your winning pitcher was Will Warren. He had 8 innings of work, gave up 2 hits, walked 0, struck out 11. So good night for that young man. And Jay Coates gets the loss. He had 116 pitches. He gave up 6 hits, walked 2, struck out 6, and gave up 4 earned runs. So that was in tonight's game. So Southeastern wins 10-0 in their game against Houston Baptist. So that's in the Southland Conference. So we'll wrap it up. Okay, once again, thanks for watching our LSU Texas A&M baseball coverage. We appreciate you coming in tonight. Good crowd tonight. Once again, we will be back on tomorrow, hopefully, depending on how I feel. I mean, I'm going through some procedure tomorrow, so I hope I'm once again, if I'm well, if I'm up to it, I will be here doing live LSU baseball, the second game of the 3-game series with Texas A&M. So everybody have a good rest of your Thursday night, and we'll see you around.